In this video, you'll learn how to manage multiple WordPress websites and sell your services to clients for ongoing recurring income. We'll go over the tools I use to keep up with updates, security releases, monitoring, and reporting for more than 50 different websites. And we'll explore how to present these services to clients in a way that shows the value of what you're offering. By the end of this lesson, you'll have the tools, proposal templates, and knowledge you need to set up a consistent income from your website's clients, all while keeping them as happy as possible. Let's check it out. Let's start by just going back to wplelevation.com that I had mentioned in the last video, and I'll show you the resources I've used to create this recurring income in my own business. Troy Dean and Christina Romero at WP Elevation offer a lot of free information if you just join their mailing list and get on the waiting list for their courses and their membership to open. If you click the join button at the top right, you'll see a pop-up come up at this time that says it's currently closed and will reopen for new students shortly. However, if you enter your name and your email and join the waiting list, you get this instant access to an amazing webinar where you learn exactly how to manage website care plans for your clients. Very, very excellent. So join that and get access to that webinar. If you also look in the blog, if you click blog up at the top here, you can go ahead and go down and enjoy some different pieces of information where there's so much good stuff there that I've come and searched on Google for a few of the articles that I know have provided great value to me. I searched for WP Elevation website care plans in Google, and I came up with this one as the top result. It's from April of 2015. It's called Selling WordPress Maintenance Plans. And let's just go over some of the information that Troy presents in this article. Now, this is a very long blog post. It's actually a very thorough article that I would read from start to finish if I were you, and actually click through some of the links that he has to other information and get an idea of how these WordPress website care plans and website maintenance plans work. This is some intro text and some little proof of some income that his clients have made. But with WordPress maintenance plans, I really subscribe to the idea that Troy has here of calling them WordPress care plans rather than maintenance plans. Because maintenance, it has these connotations with auto maintenance or maintenance, things that are costly, labor intensive. People don't really want to subscribe to maintenance plans. But care plans, it's a positive image, and people are really excited because they don't want to have to go in and fix their website when it breaks or monitor it and then call you if something is wrong. They want to have somebody in the back end taking care of it day to day. And as we scroll down, you can see that he has an excellent section here about what to include in your website care plans. And let's go over some of these in detail. The first and maybe the most obvious thing that you should be offering to your clients for hosting and maintaining and caring for their website are updates. Core updates or updates of WordPress come out, and WordPress does security updates, which are minor and usually non-breaking updates automatically. WordPress does provide this as a part of the core service, but then major WordPress updates are manual. You can have your hosting company provide these updates and do them when WordPress releases a new version, and you can decide whether you want to allow your host to do that or whether you want to update it manually so that you can check the website afterward, as he recommends here. Plugins and themes also update periodically, and when WordPress updates, it's a really good idea to check that the plugins and the themes that their website is using haven't broken or been made degraded after the updates. And this is one of the pictures that you paint for your client, that you're going to be going in and updating WordPress for security and for increased features and speed, and at the same time, you're going to look at the plugins and theme that you're using and make sure that nothing is broken. It's a kind of monitoring of the website on an ongoing basis that's really worth something and has a lot of value to clients. Backups should also be a big part of a website care plan. You can back up data daily, and you could do weekly backups of the entire website so that if anything happens, or if, God forbid, the client goes in and breaks the website, you can always back out to a previous version and restore it very easily. Also, I like to back up my clients' websites in different locations, and I always tell them how that I'm backing up their website in an external location like Dropbox or Amazon S3, in addition to backing it up on the hosting service and server itself. Security monitoring is something that I use plugins to accomplish, and you can get reports of hacking attempts that come in at your server, and you can pass that information along to your clients on a weekly or a monthly basis so that they know that you're protecting their website on an ongoing basis. And then uptime monitoring is another great way to offer value to your clients so that they don't have to be checking their website every week or every day to make sure that it's up. You can assure them that you're going to be getting a notification in the case that their website goes down or becomes very slow at any time. Now, there are a lot more tips and tricks in this article, premium services that you can offer for even more money, a list of tools that Troy and Christina recommend, which are a lot of the ones that I use, and I'll show you what I use here to maintain my client websites. And you should just read this whole article completely to get everything that you can out of it. Now, the webinar that I referred to a little while ago is actually linked right here in this blog post. Here's the play button for a replay of this webinar. It's 115 minutes long. And if you scroll down just a little bit further, there's an accompanying PDF. There's also an email, a link to the email text that Troy Dean uses to send to his clients to introduce the idea of website care plans to them and what value they bring. It's really the same way that I got started, by reading this and asking my clients if they'd like to subscribe. And many did right away, seeing the value of me watching their website from behind the scenes on a consistent basis. So go ahead and read this article, and let's go on to the next step. There's a couple more great blog posts in WPElevation.com. Here's one by Christina Romero about transitioning clients into using website care plans and recurring revenue for your business. Again, an excellent blog post that gives you a lot of good information about the steps to take to get existing clients to buy into a care plan. So, a couple of steps. You create a sales page on your website that tells and paints the value of those website care plans. You set up a checkout that has automatic subscriptions, which is very easy to set up. Write a blog post that you can then talk about and point your clients towards to read in more detail what website care plans entail. Draft an email that I just showed you the link to back here that you can send to your current clients, and send that email from a marketing system so that you can track who opens it and who doesn't open it, so that you can follow up with the data and send personal follow-ups to the people that opened and clicked the link in the initial email, even if they didn't get right back to you. It's an excellent process to go through if you already have some clients that you're taking care of their websites for them. And then there's another article called 3 Power Tips for Zombie-Free Website Maintenance. Another great article that gives some tools about what to use to manage multiple websites. Here's a good little section in number 2 in this blog post, Get a Process. And that talks about when you have a website care plan, you're taking care of someone's website, do it efficiently so you don't take too much time on each website. I have either hosting plans or website care plans on almost 50 different client websites, and I have a process that I use to check on my backups and my updates and everything that I need to do to maintain their website. And I send them a monthly report telling them everything I've done for them in the month so that they can feel good about paying me that recurring fee. Let's jump into the tools that I use and take a look at the back end of my hosting program at SiteGround. Now, it looks a little different than your sample SiteGround account that you sign up for yourself, because I'm using a cloud account where I can host multiple websites for clients separated from everyone else in a virtual private server. It gives me this WHM, which is a web host manager program on the back end, where I can go over and list my accounts. And if I just click all, you can see that I'm showing 46 different websites that I'm actively managing here. And each one has its own control panel. So if I just click the control panel logo under any one of my sites, it opens a new tab. You can see that I can switch in the cPanel through between all the different sites that I manage. And if I look at this account, the cPanel for this client, I can go down here, and I just wanted to show you one little spot that I do use with my client sites. And it's down here under software and services. One of the things that I like to do is set up WP Auto Update, but I like it to update the WordPress version, but I do like to turn off the plugin updating. I want to update plugins and themes manually myself so that I can make sure and check on them. Now, I do have the automatic WordPress version enabled, and I do have actually upgrade plugins checked as yes on this site right now, and I do want to disable updating plugins here because that's the setting that I like to keep. Now, if I go back to the cPanel homepage, again near the bottom, there's also the staging service. Now, on the startup plan that you have with your free trial, staging is not enabled. You have to get at least the GoGeek plan at SiteGround to have staging. And it's really, really easy once you have it enabled. If I wanted to just create a staging copy here, I could just hit continue and choose a username and a password for my staging site, and then I have an exact copy of the website that I can do all my plugin and theme updates. I can test everything out, make sure it's working, and then with one click I can overwrite the old site and take all my changes live. And the last tool I want to show you is something that takes care of a lot of different services that I offer in my website care plans, and that's ManageWP. At managewp.com, you can see this is their homepage, and you can use a lot of the services for free. And so if I just log in here, I want to show you the back end of my account at managewp.com, where I've got all of my WordPress websites that I'm managing set up in the background of ManageWP. There's a free plugin that ManageWP provides called the Worker plugin, and you place that and activate it inside each of your WordPress websites, and then all of the websites that I'm managing on an ongoing basis are listed here. I can get them in a grid pattern or in a list like this, and I can see on each one what the version of WordPress is. And if I look at the overview, I can see a lot of different stats about what needs updating and the overhead I might be using, where I could get rid of some stuff and make my site faster. For example, there's a lot of comments, there's post revisions that I don't need to have necessarily, and I can optimize websites in that way. If I wanted to go through and use ManageWP to update plugins, for example, throughout all of my sites, I could go here and see which of these plugins I want to manage, and I could do them on all 30 or 50 sites that ManageWP is managing for me. I don't often update all sites at the same time, and so I often use this Websites tab over here. I prefer to look at a website itself by clicking its name, and I can see that 7 plugins are available for updates, no themes, and WordPress could be updated to the latest version. I can just click Update All right here, and then I can go and make sure that everything's working. Now, we've learned how to manage backups with a few other services, but ManageWP has a backup service that you can add for a small fee per website, and an uptime monitor, as well as monitoring SEO and website rankings, along with Google Analytics if you have it installed. It's worth upgrading to the premium services, especially if you're charging your clients something like $150 to $300 or $500 a month. It's very worth that much money for the value you bring to do all these services for your website clients. Mine start at $150 a month and go up to $300 a month for my website care plans. In this video, we've gone through a few different articles at WPElevation.com, found a resource for an email you can send to clients, and there's other documents you can get through participating in WP Elevation in order to invite your clients in a really valuable way to subscribe to your website care and maintenance plans. I also showed you around my back end of my hosting program at SiteGround, where I manage some of my automatic updates through the SiteGround auto update and staging areas, as well as Manage WP, which gives you a great place to see all of the stats of plugins, themes, and WordPress updates all in one place, in addition to offering backups and uptime monitoring as well. In this video, you learned of a number of different resources you can use to build your website care and maintenance plans for recurring income. By setting up your clients to value what you have to offer and showing what you do to support their sites into the future, you'll be securing an ongoing revenue stream to make your business income more consistent.